Chapter 15. Mohsen sat in his room, frustrated and heartbroken, and looked at everything around him. It's like looking at something strange. Yes, the dwelling has lost its meaning, and this window no longer overlooks that bliss. And the sound of sweet singing rising from the lower window is now nothing but a long stab, penetrating the innermost part of his heart. She always sings for the other. He still hears in the morning the same song from Carmen. Love is a bohemian child that never knows a law. This is correct. And now he is being punished for playing with that bohemian child. He no longer even hears the sound of her calling to the little parrot. The name, Mohsen, had disappeared from her mouth completely, and it occurred to the boy to look at the parrot's cage above her window, so he looked out of his window and was horrified. He did not find a cage or a parrot. Where is the bird? Where is the other, Mohsen? He does not know his fate either. Perhaps she also threw him to the side of the road, and the boy was saddened by that idea. Hours passed, and days passed, and Mohsen lived in his pain, just as a wounded person lives in his blood. Thoughts came to him, and obsessions overwhelmed him. And he ended his long contemplations with a resolve, to see her and talk to her one last time. Oh, the defeated lovers! How many people are pinning their hopes on what they call the last conversation? They do not want to understand that explanation, logic, interpretation, clarification, and all means of thought and reason, things that are not useful in matters of the heart, and that heaven and hell only open and close their doors with almost magical, meaningless words, open, sesame, shut up, sesame. One afternoon, the boy heard the sound of her singing, and knew that she was in her room, so he frowned and went to her door, and knocked lightly, shyly, so she opened, and as soon as she saw him, she returned, so she quietly closed the door in his face, without uttering a word. The boy turned back, red-faced. From the impact of that slap, he sat at his desk and hid his head between his hands. More hours passed, and he thought again, if only he could talk to her and make her understand. The next day he tried to do it again, so he knocked on her door again and again, but she did not open it for him. And he finally begged her, from behind the door, to listen to him for 5 minutes, after which he left and did not return. Rather, he promised her to leave the entire hostel, and to go with his luggage to a place she did not know, but he did not receive an answer. It is a deaf sky, to which no supplication can reach, and he is a freed slave. On a land of misery, he has committed an unforgivable sin, and he does not know what it is. Sometimes he told himself about the revolution, and he wished every atom of his love would turn into bombs, falling and destroying that beautiful thing, which he called Susie. However, a quatrain of Km's quatrain suddenly fell under his gaze, as he turned the book in his hands, lost in thought. If you want to go the path to lasting peace, smile at fate if it oppresses you. And do not oppress anyone. Yes, smile, despite everything. It was enough for him that he had achieved a moment of this bliss that he was ignorant of. Yes, that woman was able to reveal to him an aspect of the unknown paradise in his being. So be it whatever it is, for he now knows, thanks to her, what he did not know. Paradise on earth was the one that gave him its keys, made him taste its nectar, and placed her lips next to his lips on the edge of that crystal cup, from the earthly coffer. But she had fired him? So what is his fate? Will he return to heaven? He left his seat, approached his window, and peered into its lower window, and found it closed, but light was visible from its glass. She was in her room that evening, but how could we get to her? Its door is closed to him, no prayer can penetrate it, and no incense can open it. She is now in her room like a god in his sky, hidden by clouds and protected by meteors, no one knows how to get close to him. Mohsen looked at the sky for a long time from the window of his high room and said with a sigh, "Yes. O seventh heaven. I see you and talk to you. Here from the 5th floor. As for my girl, who was close to me, she is far away from me now. Yes. If only it were. In the 7th heaven. But, it's on the 4th floor.